Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, this is Hopeful Chewbacca at the Church of Chewbacca, and today we're going to do a top 10 of the first sets of headliners that came out so far. Sets 1 through 10 have come out. We're going to rank them 1 through 10, and which ones I think maybe you should pick up and which ones maybe you shouldn't pick up. Some of the considerations for making this ranking list is the current state of the game when the cards first got released, the attributes of the cards, and the comparison of other similar cards that were out at the time or that are currently out right now, as well as the other headliners that have obviously been released, since the top 10 list is a comparison of the 10 headliners that came out. Let's get started. So coming in at number 10, we have the center fielder Dale Murphy, his 1983 All-Star card, 91 overall, gold hitting, diamond defense, right-handed bat, right-handed throwing, has secondary positions of left field and right field. Take a quick look at his attributes. Nothing too impressive. He hits right-handed pitching better than left-handed pitching at a 95 contact, 89 power clip. Has really good fielding, as you can see with the diamond fielding. 70 speed, 90 fielding, 97 arm strength, 87 arm accuracy, 79 reaction. He's going to be a pretty decent fielder for you. However, his hitting is just subpar for the card this was supposed to be in the form of a headliners. That's why he comes in at number 10. He's just not very, very good. 74 vision. It's just not a good card. I don't know what else to say. It's the poorest headliner that's come out so far. Look at his quirks real quick. Walker, soft hands, cannon, sniper, thief, pressure cooker, and unbreakable. He has Walker, which is always nice for the check swings, and obviously he has really great defensive quirks. However, for this card, I just don't see the point on getting it. Even when he came out, he was in the set 8, so he came out 8th out of the 10 cards. There was just so many better options in the outfield already, even cards that had already come out in headliners. So this is just not a good card when it comes to the headliners. That's why he's number 10. So coming in at number 9 is Johnny Bench, the catcher for the Cincinnati Reds, the 1976 postseason card. His secondaries are first base, third base, left field, and right field. Yes, he can play a lot of positions. However, outside of first base and third base, based on his speed, I wouldn't play him there other than obviously a catcher. Honestly, if you picked up this card, I wouldn't play him anywhere but catcher. However, with the gold hitting, diamond defense, and he bats right-handed and throws right-handed, I just think his attributes aren't that impressive. 65 contact, 70 contact, right and lefty pitching, as well as 87 power versus righty, 72 power versus lefty, 80 vision. These numbers are like average. For the time when he came out as set 4, so he came out a couple weeks ago. I would say that a lot of people by then had already unlocked or had the option to unlock the Gary Sanchez card, as well as even myself had already had the Buster Posey 99 overall card as an option. I picked Buster Posey because I needed a catcher at the time, as I did it in the pack review. However, I do think that if you didn't have a catcher, you didn't pick Sanchez or Posey at the time, he would have been a decent option, at least defensively, a catcher. Although you could also have got the Evolution Pudge Rodriguez, which is pretty much not the same card as this, but close enough, especially defensively, that it's just really not worth picking up this Johnny Bench. We'll look at his quirks real quick. His quirks are Walker, soft hands, vacuum, cannon, sniper, and pressure cooker. As you can see, has the Walker quirk, which I really like because of the check swings. Has great defensive quirks. I just don't think the value of this card was ever there, just based on there was other decent options at catcher that I think are better than this Johnny Bench. That's why it comes in the list at number 9. So at number 8, we have the first baseman from the Houston Astros, Jeff Bagwell. He doesn't have any secondary positions. 91 overall, right-handed bat, right-handed throwing. His attributes are 86 contact versus righty, 116 contact versus lefty, 82 power versus righty, 69 power versus lefty with 71 vision, 125 discipline. His defense is only a bronze, as you can see, 78 fielding, 64 reaction. The throwing doesn't really matter for a first baseman with 60 speed, so he has pretty decent speed for a first baseman. Obviously, you can tell from his hitting attributes he has diamond hitting. He was the first headliner to come out, and I just think that when he came out, he was one of the better first basemen in the game. That's why he comes in at number 8 compared to lower on the list. This card right now, compared to the other first baseman that you can get, is not good. Like, I wouldn't recommend picking this card up. I think it's only like 12,000 stubs. Unless they do some sort of event for like all-star players only can be used with like commons, I just don't really see the value of this card. I'm sure that he'll have a better card down the road. He hits lefties really well for contact, but not a lot of power. He hits the righties good for contact and power. I just don't think this card is very good. At the time when it came out, though, it was a pretty decent card. Look at his quirks real quick. Hitting machine, walker, pressure cooker, and unbreakable. It's unfortunate he doesn't have the bomber quirk here. That's probably the biggest knock I have on this card, besides the fact that just at this point in the game, the card itself isn't that great, especially for some of the other options you can get in the Headliners packs. Being that he came out first, this is why Jeff Bagwell comes in at 8, not lower on the list. So coming in at number 7, we have the shortstop from the Philadelphia Phillies, 2007 veteran, Jimmy Rollins. 91 overall, switch hitter, throws right-handed. As you can see, he was the second set of headliner to come out. He has actually all-around fantastic attributes. Diamond hitting, diamond defense. He has 77 contact versus righty, 95 contact versus lefty, 62 power versus righty, 63 power versus lefty, 92 vision. So pretty decent hitting stats, also a switch hitter. You can look at his fielding, 85 fielding, 90 arm, 85 accuracy, 82 reaction, 87 speed, 87 stealing, and 83 base running aggressiveness. So this card came out about a week or week and a half into the game. So when this card came out, he is actually a pretty top-end shortstop, and he does have a glitchier swing. But the thing that has him at number 7 for me is the fact that you could already have the Alberto Mondesi card that was the Player of the Month card in a previous game from the Bronze Level 40 pack, as well as, like, Mondesi has the same stats pretty much as Rollins, and he's faster, he's a little bit better in the field, and he can also play second base. On top of that, you could also have had the face of the franchise, Fernando Tatis Jr. card at that point in time by doing showdowns or playing March to October, so it's not like he was in the initial release. You had a week and a half to play the game. If you needed to get a shortstop, you could have found 2 better options at shortstop 100%, as well as if you had the Carlos Correa from face of the franchise or even Gleyber Torres at shortstop. I think those are also better options than this Jimmy Rollins. So I just think there was too many better options than Jimmy Rollins even when he came out, as well as now. I just don't even think he's as valuable as some people might value him as, just based on what his card is. I mean, as you can see, he has 77 contact versus righty, 95 contact versus lefty, 62 power, 63 power, righty-lefty. Just not that great. We'll look at his quirks real quick. His quirks are hitting machine, 20/20 vision, cannon, sniper, speedster, thief. Pretty decent quirks. Obviously, they help with the stealing bases and stuff. I just really think that there were better cards out at the option. Just better cards, better options at the time when he came out, and even definitely now, there's way better options at shortstop. That's why Jimmy Rollins comes in at number 7 for me. So coming in at number 6, we have the former closing pitcher for the New York Mets, John Franco, the lefty, bats left-handed. I know you probably won't bat with him, being that he's going to be in your bullpen. He has a 5-pitch repertoire with a screwball as his primary pitch and a sinker as his secondary pitch, and the slider as his third pitch. I just really think that these first 3 pitches are super good to have for a pitcher. I haven't used this card at all. However, I've heard that his screwball is broken. I faced it 2 or 3 times, and he's not that easy to hit. When this card first came out, my initial thoughts were, wow, he doesn't throw very hard. That's not that impressive. However, with the screwball, the way it moves, as well as the huge change in speed between his fastball that goes 92 miles an hour, which means it can probably go about 94, 95, and the 73 mile per hour screwball, and he also throws a sinker, he just has a good pitch repertoire. If you mix it well, the fact that he doesn't throw that hard doesn't really matter. On top of that, we'll look at his attributes real quick. He has great per 9s at 98 hits per 9, 108 Ks per 9, 84 base on balls per 9, and 96 home run per 9. As well as his 87 pitch control and 98 break. So he's going to be able to control where he throws the ball for those meter and analog pitchers, as well as he has big break on his pitches. Yes, his velocity is low. However, this card just does work from the bullpen from when I faced him. I understand I'm not the best hitter in the world, but I do make it up in the World Series whenever I normally play enough games to get up there. So I hit the ball pretty well, and he gave me some trouble. Pressure cooker, stingy, untouchable, control artist, grounded, illusionist are his quirks. He has good quirks too. I mean, he has the grounded, he has the stingy, and he has the illusionist for the effective changeup, even though it's his fifth pitch. As well, he's going to excel at striking out hitters, so he might get a couple more swings and misses if people are a little bit off time, rather than those foul balls. John Franco, for me, comes in at a surprising number 6, I'm sure, for some people. However, he's my number 6, so you guys better hop on board. So here at number 5, we have another former closing pitcher, ROBB from the San Francisco Giants, 2000 veteran card, 92 overall, has a 4-pitch repertoire, 4-seam fastball, slider, splitter, curveball. The 4-seam fastball can definitely touch over 100 miles an hour, has a very hard slider and a very hard splitter at 92, 91 respectively, which means they're going to get bumped up a couple miles per hour, potentially, depending on how hard you're throwing that pitch at the time. As well as a pretty slow difference in speed, curveball at 83. It has huge break on it. This card was also in the game last year for doing the NL West collection, so a lot of people have pitched with this card before. I'm assuming it plays the same way this year. I'm basing kind of my have played with it a bunch last year review on it, as in he was just nasty for me. He was nasty for a lot of people. He came out in the 9th set of the game, so there are quite a few other right-handed relievers that could be options in the game already, as well as most people could already have had the option to take the Raleigh fingers from the level 1 silver pack, level 1 gold pack, because I know there's quite a few people that are over gold in the XP reward path. So that's kind of why he comes in at number 5 rather than a little bit higher on the list, because I know this card is nasty. It's 25 stamina, 110 hits per 9, 113 K per 9, 66 base on balls per 9, 76 home run per 9, 77 control. He has a huge pitcher clutch of 122, high velo, high break. The per 9s for his home runs and his control aren't the best for like what the card is, but because of his pitching clutch, I think they get bumped up like passively a little bit higher. He's definitely a hard card to hit off of. I've always pitched well with him. I know a lot of people last year pitched well with him. I know a lot of people are really high on this card. I'm high on this card as well. Look at his quirks real quick. His quirks are pressure cooker, stingy, untouchable, cheesy, knee buckler, Mr. Splitty. That Mr. Splitty really makes his splitter hard to hit, especially because it comes in so hard it kind of drops off the table a little bit. The knee buckler allows that curveball to be a pretty good pitch, as well as a slider is considered a breaking pitch. So you're talking about making a slider that can almost go 95 miles an hour, break a little bit more, be a little bit more effective. So I really like the way this card plays. So I got him coming in at number 5 on my list, and I hope you guys agree with this rating here. He might be a little bit higher on some people's lists. I don't think he's any lower than this, though. I have VIDA Blue, the 1971 breakout card, 93 overall, coming in at number 4 on this top 10 list. He's a switch hitter. He throws left-handed, has a 4-pitch repertoire with a 4-seam fastball, a curveball, a changeup, and a 2-seam fastball. I think that this card, the reason I have him 4 on the list and not higher, is when you play with this card, he's just really hard to control. I know his attributes look kind of like ROBB's that we just went over. I feel like I have way better control over ROBB than when I pitch with this VIDA Blue, especially when VIDA Blue's coming from the windup. I don't know if anybody else shares that concern with me. I just seen a lot of people be super wild with him even when I'm watching streams, because a lot of the streamers have used this card, and I just don't think he's that easy to control. I had issues controlling him last year. I had issues controlling him this year, which is why I don't have him in my starting rotation. I do understand he does bring value with the 111 stamina and his attributes. The rest of his attributes go as 96 hits per 9, 96 Ks per 9, 67 base on balls per 9, 76 home runs per 9 with 78 control. He has the 90 velo, 96 break. So he does have ridiculous stuff. I mean, you can see his 4-seam fastball is going to touch 100 miles an hour. He has a great breaking curveball and a pretty slow changeup that has great change of pace. And he has a two-seam fastball. He also is really only a three-pitch pitcher because everyone knows that the two-seam fastball is really just not a great pitch. Two-seam fastball does move a bit. However, it's pretty hard to control. When I do pitch with him, I don't throw it that much. Maybe every once in a while to kind of try to get it to go into a left-handed batter. He's just really hard to control. If not, he'd be higher on the list. His quirks are workhorse, stingy, untouchable, grounded, and cheesy. He does have the great workhorse attribute, which means he can start losing energy at low rates when he gets deep into games. So I'm assuming that also means if you bring him in as a relief pitcher, he doesn't lose his stamina as much. So that might make him a little bit more valuable in that type of role. He does have the cheesy, the stingy, and the grounded, which will help him, as well as the untouchable. This card's just really hard to control pitching, which is why he comes on number 4 on the list. Because if you're walking a bunch of guys, it doesn't matter how good his stuff is. So just number 4 is what Vita Blue's at. I know some of you guys probably disagree, probably have him in the top 3 slots, but I got to put him at number 4 on my list. So coming in number 3 for me is a 92 overall 2002 breakout Eric Gagne. He was a closing pitcher for the Los Angeles Dodgers, and he has a 4-pitch repertoire. Throws a 4-seam fastball, Vulcan change, curveball, and slider. His 4-seam fastball will get up to maybe 98 miles an hour max. His Vulcan change is absolutely filthy. He has a lot of sideways and minor downward movement, so it moves a lot right to left. He has a huge looping curveball that goes super slow, like 67 to 70 miles an hour. It's a pretty amazing pitch if you're working in with the Vulcan change and the 4-seam fastball. He also has a slider that goes about 85 miles an hour. Look at his attributes real quick. 26 stamina, 95 hits per 9, 125 K per 9, which is maxed out. Super ridiculous. 80 base on balls per 9. He has 72 home run per 9, 108 pitching clutch, 75 control, 76 velo, and 90 break on his pitches. So this card also has relatively similar control to the Vita Blue and Rob Nen. However, when I pitch with this card, he has amazing control for me, and a lot of his stuff is just absolutely filthy. That if you throw that curveball well and you put a little bit below the strike zone and you're mixing in the fastball and the Vulcan change, it's really hard for the batter to tell whether he's facing the curveball or he's facing the fastball or Vulcan change. So really what does it for this guy is his pitching repertoire, as well as he does have great per 9s when it comes to hits and the 125 Ks per 9, which makes it a little bit harder to make solid contact with the card. As for the quirks, the sniper, pressure cooker, stingy, untouchable, control artist, illusionist. So the control artist, I think, helps with the control sum. I think that's an important quirk for this card to have with such a low base on balls per 9, as well as the lower control. Even though his control is high, I'm just saying for the caliber of card that this is, the control is low. As well as the stingy and the illusionist is going to help with his changeup. With that Vulcan change, it obviously helps with that. And the stingy is going to allow limiting base hits. This card has played really solid for me all year. I don't think he's maybe has 10 or 12 saves. He hasn't blown a save opportunity. He has let in a run or two. Most of the time, the guys that are hitting him are guys that have seen him a lot in the past or people that are very good hitters. So when Eric Gagne came out, he came out in the third set headliners pack, which means when he came out in the game, he was regarded as probably the number 1 right-handed closing pitcher in the game. The only other argument was the Raleigh Fingers Cy Young card that you can get in the level 80 bronze pack, level 40 silver pack at the time, and that's if you had already grinded to that point, which some people had, but they were picking the Corey Kluber pretty much hands down in that pack. So Eric Gagne was pretty much considered the number 1 closer you could have that was right-handed in your bullpen. That's really why he's coming in at number 3 on this list and the highest pitch out of all the headliners. So coming in at number 2, we have Ty Cobb, the right fielder from the Detroit Tigers. Left-handed bat, right-handed throwing, the 1907 breakout card. Old, black and white, you guys can see it. I was going to say diamond hitting, silver defense. Look at his attributes real quick. 103 contact versus righty, 110 contact versus lefty, 55 power versus righty, 60 power versus lefty, 109 vision, 33 discipline, which kind of stinks, but it's okay. Just have to make sure when you swing, you actually want to hit the ball. But he's also going to make a lot of contact because of his high contact number, so he probably foul off a lot of pitches. Look at his fielding and his speed real quick. He has 74 fielding, 65 arm strength, 67 accuracy, 80 reaction. He has 99 speed, 87 steal, and 95 base running aggressiveness. Secondaries are also left field and center field. Those are also important to mention. The reason this card, for me, is coming in at number 2 is he reminds me of the Tony Gwynn Signature Series card from last year. He kind of has close to the same contact numbers. I know they're a little bit less. He also has 55 power versus righties, 60 power versus lefties. So he's going to have a little bit of pop in his bat. He's also extremely fast at 99 speed. The thing that doesn't make him like the Tony Gwynn card necessarily is he doesn't have the fielding that the Tony Gwynn card had. So this card came in the 5th set of the headliners. He came in maybe 3 weeks into the game, maybe a little bit less than that. So at the time when he came in, he was one of the fastest outfielders. He has one of the best contacts, and he has medium, average-ish power. He also has great vision, which is important for playing at higher levels, but his speed at 99 and his great contact hitting just makes him valuable as like a leadoff hitter, as your 8th spot hitter, as a guy if you like to put the pitcher in the 8th spot and another like a second leadoff at number 9. He fills those roles very well. He also just flags down a lot of balls in the outfield. I mean, yeah, with the low arm strength and stuff, maybe play him at center field or left field rather than right field. But I just think the amount of space he can cover in the outfield is super important this year. And I do think online everybody's arm strength is a little bit higher than maybe what their attributes say. So I don't think his arm strength is a huge, huge issue. Look at his quirks real quick. His quirks are hitting machine, 20/20 vision, speedster, thief, pressure cooker, bunt master. He's just going to get you a lot of base hits. He can also steal some bases for you. If you want to bunt, sacrifice bunting or drag bunt, I guess he can bunt on base for you. Kind of cheesy in my opinion, but whatever you got to do to win games, go ahead and win your games. I'm not going to judge you for it. Just don't make it a super habit where you're just trying to cheese the game, but he can bunt. I know that sacrifice bunt is a pain in the ass in this game, but if you want to try it, by all means, go for it. With these attributes and just his amazing speed and the fact that the card just seems to get base hits and play above its attributes when it comes to hitting, that's why he comes in at number 2 on this list for me, especially with the time that he came out. He was just pretty much hands down the speedster in the outfield. So coming in at number 1, I have the 2013 All-Star Miguel Cabrera card. This was the year he won the 2012 AL MVP. I think this might have been the year when he won the Triple Crown as well. I would have to look that up. Maybe you guys can tell me in the comments whether or not I'm right or wrong. I'm doing this off the top of my head. I think this is the year that he won the Triple Crown. 94 overall. This is the first card they came out with that really has some ridiculous hitting attributes. Like, absolutely ridiculous. The vision at 79 is a little bit low, but look at the other attributes. 104 contact versus righties, 118 contact versus lefties, 91 power versus righties, 112 power versus lefties. You put a left-handed pitcher in there, he's probably going Yahtzee. This is just ridiculous. Has 100 discipline, 112 clutch. Has 5 attributes over the 99 mark that have the flashing yellow flame through the bar. Pretty ridiculous hitting card. For his fielding, it's not as good. It's only silver. 71 fielding, 75 arm, 73 accuracy, 62 reaction. I don't know if you would play this card at third base. He does have a secondary at first base, and I think for the numbers that he has at first base, especially the 6'4", 240 frame, I think he'd be fine at first base. At third base, I think he's going to knock down some balls. I just don't know how many balls he's going to field cleanly. He also only has 31 speed, which is like the biggest downside of the card, but I mean, he's Miggy. Miggy never had a bunch of speed, except when he was like young Miggy, and young Miggy didn't hit like prime age Miggy did. So what are you going to do? Look at his quirks real quick. Hitting machine, bomber, walker, pressure cooker, unbreakable. Home runs win games in this video game. This is the only headliners card that has bomber as one of its quirks, which I'm pretty sure helps you hit home runs, because most of the cards I play with has bombers, and pretty much the only hits I can get is home runs. You You look at my box scores, it's like 5 runs and 4 hits. It's pathetic. Anyway, moving on. We're going to go. This card just absolutely is going to crush the ball. This is a card that even if you invested now, I don't think the price is good for the card right now, but this is a card that when his price does fall down some, that he will be somebody that can be on your bench, or like if you're struggling with one of your corner infielders, you can definitely put him in the lineup and he can make a difference if he's not already starting in your lineup, which he should be, being number 1 on this list. Guys, I really appreciate everyone watching me. Please hit the subscribe button. Give me a thumbs up if I'm doing a good job. Hit the bell to get them notifications so you know when I upload another video. If you guys are enjoying the content and you want to watch me live, you can watch me at twitch.tv/HopefulChewbacca. I stream Monday through Thursdays, 8:30 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. at night, Eastern Standard Time. I also stream Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And when I do go live on those days, I send out a tweet on Twitter, so you should probably go follow me over there at Hopeful1137. You can also add me on PlayStation Network. My gamer tag is Hopeful1137 as well. If you add me on there, you can ask me questions about DD. We can talk about the top 10 lists I've made, or the other rankings lists I've made, anything about the showdown videos I made, pretty much any content I made, or any questions you have about Diamond Dynasty or MLB The Show 20, or even previous games. You can shoot me a message on there. I will try to help you out as much as possible. Guys, I really, really do appreciate everyone watching. We're growing pretty fast and rapidly, and it's just wonderful to make content for you guys and that you guys are enjoying it. So you guys, please have a great day and be safe out there.